this wonderful, wonderful profession. And it's what you put in your body is what you get out of it. I believe in the power of food. I believe in culinary medicine. And there is an institution that it has a major, culinary medicine. And that's what you all have signed up for. Did you ever think of it that way? What you put in your body is what. Now, it's advertising here that how old I am. I'm 88 years old. But do I look good? No. Why? Because I take care of myself. I get up in the morning and I have breakfast. Even if I'm not hungry, you still have to eat. You have to put something in your body to get you going. So make sure that you eat 3 meals a day, watch what you eat, and also exercise. And I live on a street that has a little hill, and I make sure that I count my steps, and I get 8,000 steps a day. And I heard someone talk about the iPhones. I went to a club, and they came out and they talked about iPhones and iWatches. She did such a good job. The next day I went out and I got my watch. And I tell you, it's fabulous. Because if you fall, and a friend of mine did, and she was wearing her watch, and within about 10 minutes, the emergency people were there, and her family was notified that she had fallen. It was wonderful, because you never know when you're going to trip with all these potholes here and everything. You're walking along and the sidewalks are bumpy. It has nothing to do with age. Anyone can fall. So the next day, I went and I got this wonderful watch. So it tells me what time it is, but also it tells me how many steps I've done. So, because I always have it on me, so I know that I get my 8,000 steps a day, okay? So put that in tune too. I want you to make sure you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I also want to make sure you get 8,000 steps a day. So, do you want to live a healthy? Instead of putting this on a PowerPoint presentation, I thought we would pass it out to you so you can make notes. If there's any notes that you want to take, you can make it. It's up to you. Don't think about it, and it's up to you to make it. If you live a life that's good, gives you joy, you have no time to get old. Isn't that interesting? You have no time to get old. I have no time to get old. I have so many, and I see Eloise, my God. We have been all over the country, all over the world. We've been to Olympics. We have been all over, and she has been a big resource in my life. And so I'm not going to get older.
We don't give up, we don't give out, we don't give in, we get going. And it doesn't matter how old you are. Even if you're 15, that's the formula. You don't give up, you don't give out. What do? You get going. And it's between here. You're as happy as you think you are. And you know, someone taught us early in our lives, if you think you can't, you're absolutely right. And if you think you can, you're absolutely right. The choice is yours. Do you live with your glass half full or half empty? It's your choice. Nobody does that to you.
So how do you define aging? The next one. where do we find hope? Anyone tell me, where do we find hope? Hope for what? For doing. Where do we look for answers to the questions of how to create a life worth living for ourselves? So you're here, you're getting an education, you're going to school. You're doing a lot for yourselves. You should feel really good about yourself. That, hey, you're not going to be a homeless. You're not going to lie on the streets. You're going to help others too, along with you. Our brains are built to feed our curiosity, our urge to discover, uncover, and invent, and be creative. Cooking is a creative art. I also paint, and I use paintings too. I have no wall space. It's all filled with paintings. And my tables are all filled with food and in the refrigerator. Explore new subjects. Oh, if something interests you, go and find out about it. Discover new skills. You're doing that by going to school. And who tests these skills and these strengths? You're the one. Now, 10 foods. This is a good one. 10 foods to help you live a longer, healthier life. And I won't go, just look at them as you go down. It's very easy to keep bananas. You know how to keep them from spoiling? If you wrap, when I get my bananas home, I wrap them with saran wrap, the ends with saran wrap, and they'll live longer for you. So, and broccoli, do you have an air fryer? Do you use air fryers? Aren't they great? I think they're wonderful. So you can put it in an air fryer. You don't have to soak it into olive oil. You don't have to soak it. Just get one of those sprayers and spray the olive oil on top of your broccoli. Put it in that air fryer, just not long at all, about 5 minutes or so. It's nice and crispy and good and tasty, and some seasoning in it. Okay, next. Think positively. Be optimistic. And laughter is the best medicine. Try and watch something funny each day, or get to talk to someone and make them laugh. Think like an optimist. And Chelsea Clinton's grandmother, Dorothy Rodham, said to Chelsea, life is not about what happens. It is about what you do with what happens to you. What you do with your life. All right, the next one, ways to get moving. Be physically active 30 minutes most days. That's all they're asking you to do. And 60 minutes to prevent weight gain. And this is one thing that the watch, you can feel it talking to you. It makes like a pulse on your wrist. And it says, okay, you've been sitting enough, get up. It says that, the message. So you remind yourself to get up. Don't sit there all day. Every 30 minutes, get up. Whatever you're doing, if you're sitting or anything like that, watching TV. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. And everyone that has been with me when we've been at these conferences or something like that, there's always stairs and there's always that thing that goes up, right? And I said, oh, see you up there. You know, I gotta take my stairs. And so you do your stairs. Don't do that thing that goes up. Take the stairs, okay? Walk around the block on your lunch hour. Walk while doing errands. Take dance lessons or an aerobics class. I do that twice a week. I do a wonderful Zumba class at my gym. And we have weights and we dance, and it's great. And it's a lot of fun. Buy an exercise or a yoga video and use it. And I'm very fortunate. I have a daughter who was a yoga teacher, among other things. So we Zoom. She lives up north, and we Zoom and we do yoga twice a week. And use hand weights while talking on the phone. Isn't that a good thing to do? You can just put your phone here and you can do the weights, right? Okay. And then, how do you define aging? That's our last one. Where do we find hope? Where do we look for answers of questions of how to create a life worth living? Our brains are built to feed our curiosity, our urge to discover, explore new subjects, discover new skills, and you're doing it by going to school. You're doing it. You're discovering new skills. Those of you who have been in the kitchen for a long time, what's something new that you can learn to do? And who tests these skills? Anyone have an answer to that one? Who tests these skills and identifies our strengths? Who? Who do you suppose? Who? You? Yeah. It's you. And it's never let anything bother you. Hold no grudges and let it go and move forward. Move forward. I don't know anything. You have to move forward because that's what life is all about, right? Life is enjoying each day, and don't be sad about it. And I've been given 20 minutes, and I think I've talked more than that, so I have to stop talking. And when you're a member, and many of you going to New Orleans? Oh, good. So I'm going to. I love going to these conferences.
It's an exciting city.
Very exciting. And this is interesting. This just came out this month, and it said it's the National Culinary Review by the American Culinary Federation, and it says leaning into Levantine cuisine of all cuisines. That's what we're having here tonight. Levantine, it's called Levantine. And it's really a great magazine that comes in. And so
It's also online on the website.
Right, it's on the website too. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, thank you. Any questions? And also I want to encourage you to go to and do some art, food art with children. That has, I'm teaching older people because at the community college, they weren't young kids. I called up my local grammar school and I said, I would like to come and do something fun with the kids. And I said, make food art. And have you ever done food art? You take a piece of celery and you take maybe a little tomato and a little cherry tomato, and you put different things in there, and you put it all out for the kids to make things. And so he said, yes, I will let my teachers know. And so I had a kindergarten teacher call me and a second grader. And I went to both those classes. And you know what? Those kids were fabulous. They sat there, and I walked in with my chef's jacket, and they said, oh, a chef. You know, your jackets make a difference. And I walked in with that chef's jacket, and they were, and that was the kindergarten class. And when I walked out, he said, I'm going to be a chef. One of the kids said, I'm going to be a chef. Good. And so they made such wonderful things. And did you know that some kids don't even know a cherry tomato? They've never tasted it. They don't have it in their house. Oh, little cherry tomato. And so I encourage you to do that in your community. Okay? Any questions for me? My time, I'm over time.
Big hand, Michelle. Thank you.